Sit down.
I'm sitting, dude. I'm sitting.
All right. And we're going to have to look at that damn camera, too, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to have to look right at that camera.
Welcome to Jrink Minimum podcast. It's a podcast that makes you sound drunk just by saying the name correctly. This is a special episode where we're going to do a YouTube video. We're going to talk about true detective theories.
We might throw in Game of Thrones somewhere in there.
We might throw in some Game of Thrones. We just had a little teaser at the beginning of True Detective.
But,
All right. Tell me what you thought about True Detective. True Detective just aired a couple days ago.
Yeah. Well, first things first, already 100 times better than Season 2.
A million times better than Season 2.
Season 2 is a dumpster fire.
Oh, God.
Did you notice, though, that the dolls in Season 3, this one that just aired,
yeah,
how similar was that to the dolls from Season 1?
There was some similarity, but I think that's a red herring. Sorry, I had to jump off and get my little detective book. I wrote notes down in this.
What's a red herring?
A red herring is basically a distraction. It's not an actual thing. So tell me about your thoughts on what the mystery is going to be and where we're at for the show. Before I go in, because I've been thinking about this stuff.
Well, hold on. I'm going to have you go first. And I'm going to play off of yours because mine aren't probably near as solidified as yours because I don't have a True Detective notebook like you.
All right.
But one thing I will say for sure is one of the things I absolutely love about it is how it's like in 3 different time periods. You know what I mean?
3 timelines. You take 3 timelines. You have one set in the 80s, one set in the 90s, and one set in the 2000s, like 2015.
Yep.
All right. I think we're only being given information that he remembers in 2015. All this stuff happens, but we only get to see what he is remembering as he's remembering it in 2015. That's why he doesn't remember the entire thing at once in 2015, and we are being given the mystery that he's trying to solve in his head as an old man, trying to remember stuff.
Well, yeah, so what you're saying is we're not getting the full story.
Right. I mean, one of the little signals of that, and I really love the editing, is when he's looking at the tire track in the investigation back in the 80s. He's looking at the tire track and he sees the full moon reflected in the puddle. And the moon flickers and goes off. And it was actually the light of the camera crew when he was being interviewed in 2015.
Yeah.
And so that kind of gives you a clue that what we're seeing in the 80s is actually just what he is remembering of the investigation, the initial investigation.
That's a good theory. I don't think that's the case. Mm-hmm. But it's a good theory, especially.
Why do you think that's not the case?
We've only been given 2 episodes.
We've been given a lot of information, though.
Yeah, we've been given a lot of information through 2 episodes, but we've only been given 2 episodes. Sorry. I just don't think it fits. It's not. I can't think of the word for it. They wouldn't do a Game of Thrones thing and make it that complex, make it that confusing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think
that's my theory.
I think there's just too much. That's just too much because I think True Detective and Game of Thrones have different crowds, obviously. I think I think that's just too much for them. I think that's just because Season 1
was kind of complex.
It was complex, but it was just kind of just pay attention a little bit and you'll get it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think his wife has more to do with it than we realize.
It's maybe. I think it's the dad, actually. I think the wife. There was a reference to the incident that happened to the daughter because she shows back up in the 90s. That's when the case was reopened in the 90s. Dad. Yeah, the daughter shows up, and they made mention of the incident between her and her dad at that time. In the 2015 interview, they were talking about when she showed back up in the 90s, the incident that happened then.
Yeah.
And if you notice, the house at the end was all kind of abandoned.
I think what I think though is the God, I can't remember her name for the top. Hayes' wife.
Yeah, the teacher.
Yeah, the teacher. Because you know how they say a lot of times people who commit crimes will insert themselves into that crime?
Yeah, you think she's part of it.
No, I don't know that she's part of it, but I think and this is just an off-the-wall theory, that she might know more.
That may be true because there's something that they keep on mentioning that he has never read her book. I think he's going to come across something in her book that fits with all the other information that he has, and he finally realizes that she is part of it.
But I'd be
because she puts some information out there in her book that she should not have had.
One thing I feel like they're really trying to jab into us right now, I feel like, is that he has something to do with it.
I don't think he does. I think
no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what they're trying to push
maybe
towards to get you to think that. But you know how when he said that he never read the full book, he says it mentioned me, too many times or something like that. Like maybe, but that could also circle back to your first theory that he's only remembering. We're only seeing what he remembers.
That's what I think is going on.
So that's possible.
I think that's just the narrative structure. I don't think that's really going to play into what the actual mystery is. I think that's just the narrative structure that they're putting us in.
So where does Hayes' partner play into this?
Don't know yet.
Or do you think he's just
I don't think he'll be part of the main disappearance. Now, the main disappearance, we have a couple mysteries. One,
right.
you have a girl that's gone missing. And you have her brother who has been killed. So, what's your theories on what happened there?
See, if I never would have watched season 1, I think I would think of this differently.
Okay.
But seeing how season 1 was and how they went with that kind of sadistic, clever, almost like something you'd see in a Criminal Minds. You know what I mean? When, he was dead like this, things like that, and the dolls. So I don't think that's where I don't think the dad had anything to do with it.
I think
this was a thought out potential serial killer.
Now here's the theory that I have that no one else has had so far that I could tell.
But I haven't looked at any other theories.
The kids lied to their dad about where they were going. They took off. They had a backpack. I think the boy witnessed abuse of the girl, and he got her out of the house. They were going to run away. Something happened. The boy got hit by a car or something. That's what broke his neck. And the girl put him in that place
to
lay him to rest.
And set the dolls out.
She shut the dolls out. Those meant something to her. She put his hands in prayer. That is something that isn't sadistic. That was kind of a symbol of love.
So you're going the complete opposite way.
And then she took the backpack and continued running.
No.
Because that was the idea. If you look at the ransom note that showed up, or not the ransom note, just the note that showed up later saying, Julie is safe.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about the note.
Yeah, it said Julie is safe. And there was a misspelling. Hold on just a second. The note had a misspelling.
Let go. Just let go.
No.
Oh, I figured it would say just let it go.
There was, don't look, just let go. But what was the misspelling? There is a misspelling in there because I backed it up, hit pause, and looked. And there's a misspelling. I didn't write it down in my notebook, though. I wrote down there was a misspelling, but I didn't write down what word. But if you look, there's a misspelling. So it's like a kid did it. So I'm thinking the brother made the note, Julie is safe. He was going to save her. They were going to run away and get away from the abusive situation.
Wait, hold on. How old were the kids? 12 and 10?
Yeah.
So the girl is the younger one.
Yes.
I don't think that she would come up with such an elaborate plan, drag her dead brother all the way to that point.
No, they were riding towards Devil's Den State Park, and that's kind of cool. Being down there,
that's
and
right there.
I was watching that. It's close by us, and
hour drive maybe,
maybe an hour and a half, and I go hiking down there all the time. And first off, there's no towns near enough to Devil's Den State Park for the kids to ride their bikes down there, but that's beside the point. As he comes walking over the hill when they're out looking, and he comes across that cliffside where the boy was put to rest, I've either been there or been someplace really close to that because that looked 100% familiar to me.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you about it later because it's completely off topic from True Detective. But I've had a similar situation like that with Stranger Things. So I don't think that was the case with the little girl. Now I do like your abuse theory because remember the little peephole from he referred to him as their uncle, but it's actually their cousin.
Okay.
Because it'd be their second cousin because it's their mom's cousin.
Right.
There's that peephole, and they said that he used to stay in his room, the brother's
I don't think that was. I think that's another distraction. I think
so.
I think that the brother saw the abuse firsthand, and that's what triggered, I'm getting us out of this house. And then they get on their bikes. They ask, when is mom going to be home? Because they wanted to know that the road was clear for them to ride the wrong direction so that they wouldn't get caught. These kids were planning an escape at the very beginning of the show. They were planning something.
See, I just don't know that a 12 and 10-year-old are that smart and can come up with something that elaborate.
Oh, gosh. I mean, 5-year-olds run away. We're not going to say that.
They pack up one pair of fucking drawers and their He-Man.
Yeah,
toy
you're right.
And they run off,
I may be totally wrong, and they only had a backpack. But I think that maybe she was picked up by somebody else later. But I think the initial disappearance was they were getting out of town. They got hit by, or the brother got hit by a car or something. That's what broke his neck. That's what gave him the trauma in the back of the head. She put him someplace safe.
Yeah, but oh man, I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe
it may be crazy.
In the purple car had something to do with it.
Maybe they were fighting in the play yard. They were in the schoolyard.
Yeah, and the bike. They were playing with that bike.
They were playing with the bike.
That could have just been a distraction. It wasn't one of the kids' bikes.
Right. It may be that they're going to be like the West Memphis 5 or whatever
3
that they were wrongly accused. It may be that the boy got hit, the girl abandoned her bike there by the side of the road. The boys found the bike, the teenagers found the bike, and were just goofing off with it, playing with it, and that'll put their prints on that bike and get material evidence for them to get.
Now, maybe I missed something, but when they said that they got the wrong guy, 10 years ago.
I think that's one of the teenagers. I think that was the wrong guy.
I was going to say, because I know they picked up that guy and beat the hell out of him. But I don't think that was the guy that they're referring to. But they never, it never really went past them saying that they got the wrong guy.
No, and they just let him go.
Yeah,
because they showed back up to the house for the note that was found, and they said, "We thought," the other guy said, "We thought you would beat us here." And they took extra time to drive the other guy back to where they came from, kick him out, and threaten him to shut up.
Yeah, imagine trying to get away with that in 2019.
Yeah.
Huh?
So what else do I have written down here?
Hey, I got a question for you real quick.
What's that?
Do you feel
You know what we really need here? We're sitting in these little foldable chairs.
Yeah,
we need like a couple of pistols
like
and
this.
some rats that we could just shoot at.
Yeah.
Don't shoot the fox.
Hey, I go grab my pistol. We'll
that's
shoot
right.
Maybe shoot your cat or something.
No.
I don't know. Idea.
All right.
But my question for you is, do you feel like this show taking place so, the show is set so close to us?
Yeah.
So, they referred to, the cousin as living in Springfield.
Yep.
That's just an hour drive from us.
Yep, and they were living in Fayetteville.
Yeah, they were living in Fayetteville.
Fayetteville they were living?
Yeah, it was Fayetteville. Right now, not far drive from us at all.
Right.
I mean, we're just right there in that corner of Missouri that, you can either go boom right there.
You've established your credibility. Go ahead.
Well, what I'm saying is, it makes the show feel a little more intriguing to you.
Yeah, I mean, in one aspect it's more intriguing. In another aspect it's kind of distracting because when they're talking about locations, like the kids ride their bikes down to Devil's Den, I know that they couldn't do that. It's just too far down to Devil's Den from any town.
Yeah.
I just know that that's kind of...
Did it ever say what exact city it was set in?
West Finger, but there
West
is...
Finger.
There is,
that could have been the name of the district, right?
There is no West Finger in Arkansas. There's West Fork that is right there on the highway just south of Fayetteville.
Maybe that's where they
But
just took that.
That's quite a ways away, too. And is a West Finger road because I looked it up. I want to say that West Finger Road is in Fayetteville, or it's in one of the towns down there.
I don't know.
But yeah, they filmed all around down there, so that may be where they got the name for the town.
Yeah, most likely. But either way, it was good. Did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, loved it. That's why we're doing this video.
Now, this could be jumping the gun here, but do you think that this has the legs to compete with season 1 or even be better than season 1? We already know it blows season 2 out of the water.
It blows season 2 out of the water, but you're going to have to do a lot of work to beat Rust Cole.
Yeah. Season 1, I don't know. The story was great too, but, just Harrelson and McConaughey together was just so dynamic. So dynamic. And
I'm sorry, Steven Dorff, and I can't remember the guy's name. I've seen him a million things, and he's a good actor. Oh no, this one.
Oh, and this one. Oh, the black guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember his name. It's something goofy. Not goofy, but something like. Man, what's the right word? What's the right word?
The right word is non-white.
I was gonna say urban
Racist?
Or African or something, but it is. It's like Zambuki or something.
You know what? We're gonna put that on our notes for next week. That way we can have it.
Yeah. What's his name? It's something.
Hayes.
Yeah. Call him
Detective Hayes.
Detective
Hayes. But yeah, I think it's definitely gonna be better than season 1. I don't know how you can improve, or season 2. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you can improve on season 1, but it might. I really like fractured storytelling.
We have 2 months left of this show.
We have 2 episodes down.
So that's why I said it might be jumping the gun, but from what we've seen so far, it's really good.
Yeah, and that was 17 minutes. We planned on doing this for like 7 minutes.
But real quick, I'm curious to see did you see what the Rotten Tomatoes was for it?
Nope.
I'm curious
look
to
it
see
up.
that.
Do you have your phone?
Yeah.
Look it up. We had the Game of Thrones trailer at the beginning of it. Did you like that? It was filmed just for being a teaser. It wasn't any actual footage. One thing that bothers me is it showed all of the Stark children as statues in the crypt, and that's where people who die go.
Yeah.
A statue is made after they die. Is that foreshadowing that all 3 of those Stark children are going to die?
Well, that's what I was wondering but they could hear the voices of their mom and their dad.
Yeah.
And
are they going to die?
I don't know.
It's going to piss me off. Arya dies. Arya is awesome.
Episode 1 got a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, is that fans or critics?
That's critics.
Fans. What are fans?
The tomato meter is 85%. The audience score is 92%. But if you break it down by episode, it's 92% for episode 1 and 100% for episode 2.
That's because
Episode 2 is good.
Yeah, they're both good.
Yeah,
and
they're both extremely good.
If you think about it, as it goes on and you get more involved in the story, it makes sense that it's going to be more.
I got my wife watching it with me.
I tried to get Kathy to watch it, and she sat on the couch and just kind of stared at the wall, I think.
See, I feel bad because I got my wife to watch part of season 2 with me because she's never seen season 1. So I was like, I'm curious to see if she sees season 2 and then season 1, if she would hate season 2 as much as everybody else. Because I think a lot of the case with season 2 is it had to live up to that standard of season 1. And it didn't.
Yeah.
She did not get into season 2 at all. She's still never seen season 1, but she is loving this.
It is a sophomore curse.
3.
The sophomore curse, it is never as good as the first one.
But
if you look at this. Stranger Things, season 2 was not as good as season 1, obviously.
Yeah.
And so I think that you need those seasons that are not as good to prepare you for the ones that are going to be good. And I think this is going to be up there with season 1 so far.
So far. I'm excited.
And next week, are you going to take notes like I did?
I will absolutely take notes. And maybe next week we dive into some Game of Thrones theories too.
Maybe, because but man, we went through 20 minutes here.
Yeah.
We were going
But we won't have 2 episodes to talk about next week. We'll just have 1.
Right. We'll go through them. We'll try and make it quicker.
But we got to record a podcast.
Yep, it's Jrink Minimum Podcast, a podcast that makes you sound drunk just by saying the name correctly. And to our new YouTube channel, cheers.
Cheers.